Welcome to Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. I'm Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, and this is episode 58. Happy New Year, everyone. It's a brand new year. And with so much that went on last year, we have so much to look forward to this year. We have the first-person shooter module. We're going to be getting the PlanetSide module, the social module, and of course, towards the end of the year, Star Wars. Oh, wait, sorry. I meant to say the Squadron 42 campaign. So we've got a lot going on. I want to take the moment right now to say thank you to each and every one of you that's subscribed and that stays around to watch each one of my videos each week. I thank you very much for that. We hit 2,000 subscribers. And with that, the end of the 2,000 subscriber contest. That ended with the video that I think was the Super Hornet review or look back or update. I forget which one I called it. But it's been a long time coming, right? I have a very, very specific, dedicated channel, which originally just hit on Star Citizen, and I opened it up to other games. So it would take a little bit longer to gain some, some views, some subscribers from that, because it really is just tailored to giving the news to the people that don't have the time to go out there and get it on their own. And then I made it a little bit better. I started talking to Ben, started doing the Five for the Chairman, started my State of the Games, and then diversified into other games. I've always done other games like from time to time, but I've been much more consistent with it. The channel's evolved and it will continue to evolve. But of course, how do you evolve a channel that's called Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous? I don't know at this point. I think that I'm just going to keep it the way it is for the time being and see how far it takes me. When you actually look at the channel name, it's just my name, Nicole D'Angelo, and I hope you continue to come back each week to watch the videos I produce and put up here. As far as SCAA goes, this show, I'm hoping to keep the format updated as we go along. I like the way that the last couple went, where I talked and I kept on going off to the video screen behind me and giving you a little bit of in-game footage and my own take on certain things. I'd love to get some of you to submit some kind of a video, maybe a update or a review of your own stuff in the game, and I'd like to play it there as well. I can go on with this, but I'll just put it to you this way. The end of the contest has also brought me a lot of work, and it was work that I probably should have kept up on, but the holiday season, which starts November 1st for me, is very, very, very active and very busy for me because of the work I do in retail. And that means I'm away from home a lot, and that's why you saw a decided decrease in the number of videos that I did that were based on just Star Citizen's news like this. And because of that, it also meant that I got a little bit overwhelmed by the numbers of entries that were coming in for the contest. And I never got a chance to send back notes to each and every one of you that wasn't following the rules of the contest, which was about 95% of the people that made entries. In the beginning of the contest, I made it very specific. I said, all you had to do is share it on one of your social networks, anyone, take a screenshot of it, send it to me, and send it to theaddictedgamer@gmail.com. One entry per email. Well, that's the first part that went wrong. I got some emails with 10, 20, 30 entries in it, and it's taken me time to go through them. I'm not beating you up here. I'm trying to give you an idea of what I'm going through. The second piece I said is make sure it said Drive to 2K contest in it. And there were still many that did not have it, or people that came up with their own funny ways of saying that. The reason why I ask you to be very specific is because I get tons of emails, both for this show and for other shows I've done, and for people that know me from an old YouTube channel that I used to have a couple of years ago. And I need to distinguish one email from the other, and if you do that, it's much easier to find them. And the last one that almost nobody actually did, very few people did, I asked you to make sure that in the body of the email there was some description of what show you were sharing, like Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous episode 58, or State of the Game episode 12, or, Let's Play Elite Dangerous episode 1. I didn't get that from a lot of you. And again, not beating you up, I'm just giving you a reason why it's taken me a long time to go through these emails. I did try to move the emails every time I got one into a special box, but as I'm going back through the 3.5 months of emails, oh my God, there's a lot. There is a lot of emails that I missed because of some of those things not actually being taken care of. I'm not going to hold you to it this time. I'm going through on my own to try to make sure that everybody put in an entry, that everyone that put in an entry is going to get an entry. That way we can get this contest done, and I can make sure that I have a little blurb about how to enter the contest at the end of it, of each one of my videos henceforth. That way you don't have to go all the way back to the original video to see what my contest rules are. But do understand, I always put the rules inside of the comment section, which a lot of people don't read. And that is something that I'm going to make you aware of now. From now on, make sure you read the comment section about any contests I have, because if I don't get your entry, I don't want you to be upset with me. It's because you probably didn't follow one of those rules and I missed it. All right, enough of that. The next contest, I have it up in the air right now. I'm going to get with Ben and see what kind of things I could work out with him. But I'm thinking about giving away a package for every 100, starting with 2,100 subscribers. And that's going to be tough because we're already at almost 2,060. But starting with 2,100 and moving on, and then every 500, give a medium package. And at 3,000, give a bigger package. And then possibly rinse and repeat until we get to 5K. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but we'll see. I think that based on the the patrons that are supporting me on patreon.com, I should have enough income to support some of this, but I may need a couple of more of you to help me out by going out there and supporting the show at patreon.com/Batgirl. All right, let's get on to the news because there is a lot of it, and I don't think I'm going to get to all of it in one show without talking your ears off and boring you to death. So thank you so much for joining me for the news, and thank you, Dr. Jeffrey, who is definitely 100% one of the biggest assets that I have right now on the show. And I have room for more people like Dr. Jeffrey, but he collects the news each week, looking through the forums, the developers' notes, and then also capturing everything that's pertinent and important inside of Around the Verse and Reverse the Verse, and then sending it to me so I can then put together these shows. Thank you, Dr. Jeffrey. I really appreciate your help on the show. All right, Arena Commander 1.0 went live just before Christmas. We've talked about this. It was buggy. There were crashes. It was hard to get in a match. And little by little, they have made it more stable. And they're about ready to release a couple of small patches that aren't going to add more spacecraft into it, but are going to shore up the problems that we've been having. A couple of the problems I've been having, as you can see behind me, are the crashes, the frequent crashes that I have in the middle of PvP battles. It seems like when I'm doing Vanduul Swarm, I don't have any crashes. It's just when I have a network connection. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but that's something that they're going to be moving on to. As soon as all of the code is fixed and the bugs are squashed, they're going to start moving on to adding not new spacecraft, but spacecraft we already own and is not flyable into the game. And that's going to start off with, of course, the Gladius and the Gladiator. I think those are the last two single-seaters that aren't in the game. Now, those two I do own, but I don't own a fair number of ships, like all of the Hornet variants and 3 of the 300i variants. So I'm working on a way to get those into a hangar of mine so I can do some videos on those also. But that's kind of exciting. But this other piece, which I don't know how it was stated, is that pretty soon we should be seeing the P-52 Merlin and P-72 Archimedes. I think that's what that was. And those are those really small snub-nosed fighters that are kind of that point defense system that you deploy off of the back end of a Phoenix, Constellation Phoenix, or any one of the other Constellation models. The Archimedes with the Phoenix and the Merlin with the other 3. There is also a snub-nosed craft of some sort on the Carrack, though, and we don't have any information on that yet. But that is more or less not for fighting, but for helping to support your exploration role. So I don't want you to think that that might be coming too. As far as the multiplayer ships go, it's going to be a little bit longer. They're going to focus on the single-seaters first, then the craft that are kind of sort of the multiplayer ships but don't need to be, like the Cutlass, which is already in game, and the Constellation and Freelancer, I guess. Sorry, the Cutlass, Freelancer, Constellation. And then they'll move up to the specialized ships after that. I think the way that they're looking at this is by the time Arena Commander 2.0 goes live, the Freelancer and Cutlass and Constellation should be either released or two of them released, with one coming in a later patch. So we also had a couple of updates that came with version 1.0 that are going to mean something to us, and we'll talk about that now. The leaderboards have also been updated, and there's a lot in there. You need to go take a look at them and see all the things they added. It's starting to make me see where they're trying to take this part of the game. And this isn't my favorite part of the game, nor will it ever be. I'm not a big Arena Commander type play fan. I'm more of a fan of things that are much more tactical, and you could listen to my last state of the game to get an idea of what I'm talking about. But there's a lot in there, and I understand where they're going to take this, and it's going to be a lot of different ways that you're rated on gameplay, how gameplay time, number of kills, number of deaths, number of respawns. All of those things are in other games like War Thunder and World of Tanks. Wait a second, I played those two games and I said I'm not that keen on this type of play. Well, as soon as this game goes live, I have a feeling I'm not going to be playing any other game out there, because it's other aspects of this game that are actually driving me to it, like the open world nature of it, interacting with your friends, becoming a robber baron, owning your own enterprises and stuff. I can't wait for those things to go live. But I really need to get better at Arena Commander, because I think I need to earn your respect that I know how to play that. Right now, to me, it's just a bunch of people flying around, crashing into each other, and shooting off missiles, with the rare occasion that I find that I'm actually playing with somebody that's amazing. I'm not saying that people suck out there. They don't. I just think that the nature of the gameplay has not grown yet. The arena is still a little bit small, and I think there has to be things like capturing points and more squad-based things than there are everybody's out for themselves. And I hope that's something that we start to move towards in the future. The other piece of that is, in my last 5 for the CM, I talked to Ben about Arena Commander credits, which are definitely coming. And I knew that when I asked those questions, and I knew that when I posed it in the State of the Game. I apologize. I like to bring up subjects that are kind of controversial to get you guys thinking, to see what your ideas are, okay? From now on, I'll make sure that I tell you when I'm doing that. But Arena Commander credits, when I talked to Ben, which is in the piece of State of the Game, not State of the Game, but 5 for the CM, the last one I did that was mistakenly lost. He said that they're going to give you credits for playing, for playing with your friends. He didn't elaborate on it, but I can see that they need to get a little bit more creative in that and create missions that you would have to complete on whether it be a daily or weekly basis, and give you credits for that. I'm very, very, very excited to hear that they're thinking about that, but I'd like to know what their ideas are. I posed this in State of the Game, and I'm going to pose this here. What are your ideas for ways to earn Arena Commander credits which will not be used in the player universe? In the player universe, the credits that you purchase over in the UEC Bank, and the credits that were given to you in certain packages and as gifts from Chris Roberts and CIG to us are going to be used for buying weapons and systems and different things in game. However, the credits we earn in Arena Commander are for upgrading those virtual ships. Remember, this is the game within a game. So give me what your ideas are for that. All right, so with that, we move on to the next piece that I started to hear about when I was talking to Ben. Again, this isn't a piece that got lost. Weapons are totally changing. The classes are going away. So you're not going to have this class 1, class 2, class 3. Now, he talked about them being pucks or plugs. I'm going to call them pylons. When you go out onto any kind of an aircraft today that's owned by any of the military forces, the weapons are held on pylons. And those pylons could only handle a certain kind of weapon. Take, for instance, an F-15. It has pylons underneath on either side of the intakes, or going along the bottom of the fuselage, that can handle the AMRAAMs, right? That's all they're going to handle. Take those off, put the conforming fuel tanks on a F-15E, and you're going to hold a ton of different laser-guided and regular free-fall bombs. That's the type of thing that we're talking about here. The weapons are now going to be assigned to pylons, and those pylons are going to be assigned to different places, different points on the spacecraft. So right now I have let's just take the Avenger right now. I have 2 attachment points on the wings, 1 on each side. I actually have 4, I think, if you look at it correctly. And then I have 1 on the nose. And those are going to have pylons or plugs or pucks, as he was talking about, that will fit certain types of weapons. So torpedoes go on one type, missiles on another, and then of course you have laser weapons and gimbaled laser weapons, or ballistic weapons and gimbaled ballistic weapons. I would think those last 2 or last 4 actually are one type. I'm not 100% sure if this is the way that they're going to do this. I'm going to ask Ben. And now that we got the whole weapon pricing and everything worked out, one of the questions I'm going to ask him is if they're going to allow us to melt the weapons that we purchased so we can purchase other things with them. If you think that that's a great question for me to ask Ben in the next 5 for the chairman, please leave that answer below. And if not, give me what question I should ask. All right, so we're going to move on to something I don't know that much about. A long time ago, when I was talking to Ben or maybe Sandy, I can't remember which one of them, I asked them, do you think you have enough offices right now, or are you all set? And the answer to that question, from which one of those, I don't know who it was that we have a fair amount of people in Germany that like the game and are backing us. And they were saying, not fanatically, but they are some of the most passionate backers out there. So they were going to open an office in Germany, and that office is on its way to being open. It's pretty cool, right? So now they have an office in Manchester, an office somewhere in Germany, which I need to find out about. You have Austin, Texas, you have Montreal, and you have, of course, Santa Monica. Just a little bit further out to the west, maybe in Australia, and then you can say that you have circled the globe with Cloud Imperium Games. Pretty impressive for a company that only started out just a few short years ago and has been totally funded by our cash. All right, I think that's all I'm going to go for news right now. There is a lot more that we can go over, and I'm going to give you an idea of some of the things that were talked about in Reverse the Verse. Just give me a second here to open it up. All right, so, there is another news item. January 23rd, down in, I think it's San Antonio, Texas, PAX South will be held. And Cloud Imperium Games are going to be taking part in many of the different breakout sessions there. But they are going to have a meet and greet, and they are going to have a town hall meeting. Pretty cool. If you live in the area, if you're going to PAX South, I am going to beg you for information. Please. If you can take video, I don't care if it's cell phone video. If it's a cell phone video, please turn your cell phone this way. And if you get a chance to ask anybody questions, please do, and I'll air it here. All right. Second piece of this is there's a lot of cool things. I'm just going to give you things that are going on. They're working on the different HUD systems. That's pretty much all that's holding up FPS right now, I think. They are, Ben and James are traveling to Austin, of course, for that. Gladius is going to be flyable very soon. I already went over that. All right, people have asked the Scythe. When are we going to get the Scythe? Is the Scythe coming? Is the Scythe coming? So one of the things that was addressed in Reverse the Verse is that they weren't ready for the Scythe, but now Chris is asking for it. So if Chris is asking for it, you can tell it's probably going to be soon. Harold, it's waiting a technical artist. Wow, look at that. Here's a big one for me, and this is just going through Reverse the Verse. Retaliator is hangar ready. It doesn't mean that it's coming out. It's hangar ready, and it will be flyable in version 2.0. And this is where we've learned about the P-52, P-72, and all different things. The reason why I'm going through this list is just to point out that when they do Reverse the Verse, which I believe airs just after the Around the Verse on Thursdays, or I think it's still on Fridays, Either way, when they air that, there's a lot of information, and it's an opportunity for you to get those questions that you usually give to me to ask Ben, to have that answered right there by him live. All right. It's big, big, big week, okay? And I only call it a big week because I'm back. State of the Game is rendering right now. This is done. I'm going to have another 5 for the CM, and I'm definitely going to have at least 2 hanger videos out this week to do a update or preliminary or maybe in-depth review of some of the ships. The first one coming out will be the Aurora LX, which is a personal luxury / exploration vessel. There is already an exploration version of the Aurora. It's called the Aurora ES. There are some issues with that right now. With it, at some point, it was actually more expensive than the MR, and it's supposed to be the unarmed, less expensive version. But I'm going to be bringing that to you, and then I'll move on from there. I think Dr. Jeffrey does an amazing job, and I would love to ask one of you to help me with the contests. I don't want to get into this position again, where the contest is over, okay? And I am going crazy trying to put together the spreadsheet. If you can help me by collecting emails, by being my surrogate for doing the contest information, I would love for you to join my staff. Right now, my staff consists of me and Dr. Jeffrey, and a couple of other people have helped out immensely, like Citizen Hans, Ben Sanders, and of course, the 2 biggest contributors before Dr. Jeffrey, and continue to be my biggest contributors, are Pabby Boyington from the Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous thread in the Den, who creates all the wonderful backgrounds and logos for the show, and Matt Fossa, who he has created the background music for a lot of my videos and the title and outro sequences. Thank you very much to both of you. So if you want to give a hand to the show, we're getting bigger. We're starting to get out there and be seen more. I would be more than grateful to have you join the staff. Just send me an email at theaddictedgamer@gmail.com and just put in the subject field. Okay? All right, so we've got a contest that I have not shored up yet that we're going to be starting. We're going to be closing out the last contest. I still have a Mustang Omega that was given to us by Captain Gloom from Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous thread, and the Enablers, our wonderful organization that's part of the show, of course. And she donated one for us to give away, and we're giving that away. If you need to know how to win that, go back and watch State of the Game 16. All right, so here's the part where I ask for help in a different way. Please go out to patreon.com, patreon.com/Batgirl. Take a look out there, and if you want to help support the show, please do. If you don't, please just make sure that the way you support the show is by clicking that thumbs up button down below and sharing the episodes. Sharing the episodes can win you a ship. Believe me, that is something that I like to do. I am done, and next week we're going to be more hardcore with that new format, doing different pieces. I have a huge idea of what's going to go on for next week, and we'll see what happens this week with the people over at CIG. I think this is week 3, so we should be getting a jump point if you're a subscriber. Also, I think that means there's hanger flare items for subscribers. Yes, go out there, figure out what it means to be a subscriber. Get you into a top secret space where we have our own boards with no flaming most of the time, no trolling most of the time. And I guess I'm almost done. Really, almost done. Well, this is the piece of the show that I want to dedicate to the different organizations out there for now on. As we get bigger, organizations are going to become more and more important. And this game is going full steam ahead, and we're going to be getting to a point where flying with your organization mates is going to be very important. So I want this part of the show at the end to be your recruitment area, your what's coming up in your organization events. So whatever organization that you're in, if you're in something huge like Imperium or LAMP, or small like my organization, the Enablers, just give me a buzz, tell me what you want me to talk about, or create your own little excerpt to put in this area. All right? Guys, thank you so much. Girls, thank you so much. I know there's 2 of you out there somewhere. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting, for supporting the show. I appreciate it. Remember to click that thumbs up button down there. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.